tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. The time for talk is over as we are just mere moments away from the Super Bowl. Two teams now have a chance to prove they are the best. It's the Raiders going up against the Vikings. So the time has come. Let's send you out to the stadium and join the two men that will have the Super Bowl call. Here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, we find ourselves right in the center of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Arlington and AT&T Stadium. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
As I watch that play unfold, stereotypes are being broken left and right. As a corner, you're often back there guarding against the pass. But how about that diagnosis and read and getting into the backfield and making a nice play and a tackle?
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. The wide receivers, often a very, very talented group, and that's the case here.
And they don't mind showcasing it either. Those guys love to be flashy, love to make big plays out in the open field. They will attempt to do so in this game.
To throw is Lynch, and they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be fourth down.
The dialed up the screen pass on third down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
This is taken at the 23. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Raiders will take possession. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. Anthony Barr in on the tackle. And Mr. Cooper, Amari, a headliner in this offensive unit.
Brandon, it's rare that you get guys so polished coming out of college, but Amari Cooper has carried himself like a pro probably since he was 6 years old. He is a terrific talent.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Cuts it out to the sideline. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. The defense came out with a look that they had prepped for all week to attack. They took advantage, got the first down.
And the key words in there, prepped for all week. They really studied them, understood their tendencies, knew what they liked to do, and prepared their game plan accordingly. And boy, the payoff was good.
All right, here we go.
And they'll go on the ground. And he stopped immediately there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Every now and then I scratch my head when I see the draw play called, especially after a great run the previous play. Keep attacking. Sometimes the draw play develops slowly, and that allows the defense to react.
A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. Now they'll throw with Carr. Forced out to his left. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro linebacker. It's Von Miller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. Rolling to his right. Now he'll let it go. They got his man complete. They got 29 yards there. And that leads to a Minnesota first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it...
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Rashad Perriman, 52 yards. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know the receivers love to say, if we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And it's possible that today the most important group could be the linebackers.
Yeah, the second level, as we like to call them, right? Defensive front has to control things, but the linebackers, they do more than clean up. They help create big plays.
And some room to maneuver. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 8 yards. There's still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And the big tight end shifting around. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
All right, here we go. And to give this time to the tailback. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And the 8th play on this drive coming up.
All right, here we go. Wide and yank. We're going to rally. Here we go. Red 18.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down to the 36. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, and he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They've got to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
The one running back is Gurley. Throwing here, Lynch on 1st down. And Gronkowski's got it, complete over the middle. 12 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 1st down Vikings. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
They go play action now. Lynch. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Now Lynch on 1st down. Lynch fighting. He fumbles. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or has moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Lynch. They'll roll him out right. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only... bounds there defensively.
Well, extremely, because you know the rap against us defenders is that we're frustrated offensive guys who can't catch. And he caught it. Just couldn't get his feet down inbounds. It's that second part that finished off the play for him.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
Here we go. 3-19.
Evans comes in motion right. Now Paxton Lynch on 3rd and long. He's going to go up top again. Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
Now they'll run it on the toss. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Well, after what we just saw, we know that with 3rd down coming up, this is not a gimme for the offense. They've got to figure out what they want to do. Do they challenge their offensive line and try and run it? Or do they go ahead and concede that this is a tough defense and put it in the air?
So they pick up the 1st down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Flushed out right. And an alley to run. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 14 there. And the Raiders are going to have a 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back.
And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And now a 1st down following that long gain.
Here we go.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
They come out here in the eye. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And another timeout called by the Vikings now. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
And this one is right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Here we go. Green.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. They go play action with Lynch. He's got time. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
Rolling to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that's caught inside the 35. So we've arrived at halftime here in Super Bowl 57. As we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry, so both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. On second down, here's Carr. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And that's caught inside the 30. They chalked that one up as a gain of 34 on third down. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They come out here in the eye. And they'll run it here. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, He's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Second down following the run. Now they'll run it on the toss. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. First down and goal. The offense knocking on the door. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Throwing now is Carr. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This is a 26-yard attempt.
But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
And he'll probably wish he reconsidered here. It'll cost him 10 yards now with a new rule as he's down at the 15-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They go play action here on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne and try to knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a third down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after the catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Unable to get it to Gronkowski that time. Now fourth down.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, the hurdle. Oh, and he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. Olivier Vernon brings him down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Room here to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense have felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him. Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
All right, here we go. 5 and 8.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Offense coming up, needing 2 yards on third down. Back now here on EA Sports. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. Now they'll run it on the toss. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A great effort there. 40 yards. And the Raiders have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. And now the Raiders will face an important 2-point conversion attempt here. Carr will look to throw. And it is incomplete, so they can't convert for 2. And now the lead stays at 5. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
Backing up. He's going to fire. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. And that's one of his advantages of a passer is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11. Another carry now for Gurley. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Lynch to throw. Dancing to his left. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. They come out here in the eye. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And they'll go on the ground, and the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. The Raiders do snap it. It's Carr. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. Give him 23 yards on the pickup. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys have the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Time for a break. We're back to perhaps crown a champion after this. So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here. They come out here in the eye. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take... And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. 7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Carr to throw. Flush to his right. Shakes off the sack. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that'll push the lead up to 8. So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of...
Now on the return, oh no, the ball is loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. And that'll bring up a third down. They're going to hurry back to the line now. They slide Gronkowski outright. Back to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 23 yards on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL?
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the two-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. They find some open field here. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I love football lingo and the evolution of it all. Nickel defense makes sense, right? 5 defensive backs. But then you go to 6. What are you going to call that? And they call it a
double
it. A dime, which is just very simple for them. The math doesn't add up. But I know one thing. Offenses love to run against dime defenses. Typically, the bigger guys have an advantage against the smaller defensive backs when they're blocking downfield.
And we saw that advantage right there. The tackle there by Patrick Peterson.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And the Oakland Raiders are on top of the football world. They will hoist the Lombardi Trophy as the Super Bowl champions. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi Trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better feeling in sports.
I don't know how there can be. The journey to get to this game is incredible. And then to finally break through and win it when all eyes are on this game alone because there's nothing else going on, that's just got to be absolutely amazing. The task, incredible. But the accomplishment, forever.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.
This is the last opportunity to resign your players, or they will become free agents.